In other business news, a new report by the Transnational Alliance to Combat Illicit Trade has outlined threats to the South African economy. The organization has partnered with the Business Unity South Africa on this report that scrutinizes efforts to address illegal trade, corruption and money laundering. While it has been found that illicit trade remains deeply entrenched, recommendations have been proposed, including harsh penalties. Tracit Director of Programs, Esteban Giudici, speaks to us about this. Thank you so much for your time, Esteban. One of the proposals that have been made is the appointment of a national inter-agency anti-illicit trade. Talk us through what type of body would that be and what it would be serving.
Okay, thank you very much for the call. Good evening to you and to your audience. That's a general recommendation that we included in our report, among another handful of general recommendations. But I think that the important thing that we need to focus on today is on two specific actions that we propose to South Africa. And for this, I need to elaborate a little bit on the work that we have done with Tracit in other regions, notably a platform of customs director generals that we organized in the Americas. That was very successful and gave us the mandate to work on a specific technological follow-up mechanism to put together all key stakeholders in the fight of illicit trade, namely law enforcement, brand owners, service providers, associations, and other kind of relevant stakeholders for the fight against illicit trade. All these ideas and specific recommendation and specific actions that would fall within this general recommendation that you just mentioned, we're transmitting today to the audience at the VUSA event that we have, and we are going to also socialize them with other governmental authorities, notably with the Commissioner of SARS, throughout this week that we are here in South Africa.
I want to find out what then necessitates all these measures, given that South Africa is already on the grey list, but at the same time, efforts are underway by government to ensure that what the FATF has highlighted is eradicated. Is there hope that South Africa will get off that list?
Yes, I think that there is big hope. I mean, we have been working with South Africa for the last 2 years. When we came first in 2023 with the first iteration of our report, it was at the right moment when the FATF, the Financial Action Task Force, had great listed South Africa. And what we see 2 years after is that the government has done considerable improvements. And what is still missing to get out of that situation is to solve the problem of effectiveness. What does this mean? It means that South Africa has the laws, has the legal framework in place, but it needs to be implemented, particularly when it comes to investigations and prosecutions. And we believe that these tools that we are proposing the authorities in South Africa to implement together with us, with a voice, with a public-private partnership, we are from the private sector, it's going to dramatically increase the chances of getting out of that great listing and improving ultimately the economic prospects of South Africa. Because when we mitigate illicit trade, money that is, let's say, not fuel to the public sector and which goes under the table, it gets back to the people who need it the most. And that's why important. That is why it is particularly important that we tackle all of these issues.
Lastly, that speaks directly to the enforcement capacity that South Africa has. What's interesting is that there's a call for increasing punishment in terms of the measure at which companies or individuals would face punitive measures when they are found in the wrong. Where's South Africa lacking there? Because we know that economic crimes across the world are quite difficult to land in prosecutorial matters.
Correct. To our understanding, and generally speaking, South Africa has a great tradition of law enforcement. You have robust organizations, but what we see that is missing there is integrating technology. Here, this is a depth. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, what I was saying is that globally there is a depth from all law enforcement throughout the world, I would say, to catch up with the technological developments. I mean, criminals, they have leverage on that for the past decades, and it's time that we start using new technologies and providing these technologies to the public sector and to the law enforcement. And this notably needs to be done with the help of the private sector, and that's why we are here. And this is the kind of measures that we are proposing to increase the effectiveness of the law enforcement agencies in South Africa.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Esteban Giudici is with the Tracit organization.